Hi, this is Justin from Sonic Scoop. Thanks to B&H, we get to bring you another 3-part video series, this time on recording guitar without the amp. Instead of doing it in some big fancy pro studio setup like we usually do, we're in a home studio this time. And this is the home studio of one Mr. Vlad Holiday of the band Born Cages. Not only a guitarist, but a producer, right? You produce most of the Born Cages stuff yourself.
Yep.
We are going to get some guitar tones with Vlad using 3 different amp sim softwares. So we can kind of compare their strengths and weaknesses. The first one is going to be Native Instruments Guitar Rig, which Vlad has been using for years in his demoing process. And sometimes you get some final tones out of Guitar Rig too, right, that end up on your tracks. We're also going to try IK Multimedia's AmpliTube, which is one of the oldest names and one of the most popular ones out there. And we're going to try also Positive Grid's Bias. We're going to dive into each of those, see how they sound. You can hear them for yourself and make up your own mind. Ready to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's hear some tracks.
This is a section where it's a little more dirty and gnarly and fuzzy for the guitar tone. First, let's take a look at Guitar Rig. This is the DI, the clean DI. Kind of sounds pretty bad. But now here it is with Guitar Rig. In this Guitar Rig, I'm actually using nothing crazy. It's a JMP, a fuzz, and I'm using this ring modulator that I have set to a button over here. I have it set so that when it's like a latch mode thing. When I click it, the ring modulator comes on and it's got this like weird like tremolo effect, which I just wanted it to be like as gnarly as possible in that section. So here it is with it. Here it is by itself. Yeah, I love that ring modulator. It's really cool. Second, we're going to look at bias effects. It's got this fuzz drive going into a plexi and a little delay after it. Same kind of vibe. Here it is with the song. Yeah, very cool as well. And last but not least, AmpliTube. We got a 57 Deluxe, and I'm just using the fuzz on a Fender Fuzz Wah, and this is what it sounds like. Yeah, all 3 of those sound really good to me. I think it's just a matter of preference at that point.
Vlad, thanks for taking us for a tour of all 3 of those softwares. We got to hear Guitar Rig, we got to hear AmpliTube, we got to hear Positive Grid Bias. I know that you've been using Guitar Rig for years now. You say you use it for a lot of demoing of your own tunes. How did you end up working with that one?
I just stumbled across it. I think at the time I didn't know about AmpliTube or bias effects. I actually used it live for a while just through a MacBook because it was so easy to change through tones. I think my favorite thing about it is just it has so many effects that are just kind of very out there, like crystallizers and sequencers and really weird stuff that I got drawn to because I started getting bored about just like looking for the same standard guitar tone.
Yeah.
And Guitar Rig kind of helped me get out of that world for a second.
So playing Guitar Rig live in a live setting, we're literally talking as a laptop on stage, like a foot controller or something?
Yeah. I had this little like rig control, it's called. I think that was just fed straight to the venue. Stereo effects were another thing that was really cool, like delays and stuff, which you can't really do live unless you're rocking 2 amps, which is a bit excessive in New York.
Now, you got to dive deeper into 2 other ones today, AmpliTube and the Positive Grid Bias effect. Do either of those have an edge anywhere over the Native Instruments?
I think they both have their own sounds, and I think at the end of the day, I'm glad we did the sound comparisons because people can kind of just figure out what they like better. It's a very subjective thing. I really like the bias effects clean tone a lot better, which is something that I've always thought that guitar was lacking a bit, or maybe just amp sims in general. But yeah, I really dug that one, and I know AmpliTube had like a really cool reverb that I dug, this like Fender springy thing.
Yeah, I think you're not alone in thinking that the distortion tones got good a lot earlier in software than some of the clean tones. And I think some of the feedback I've heard from people about, particularly bias, is that the clean tones are really responsive, that they kind of respond to your dynamics in a way that some older amp softwares didn't do.
Yeah.
But I guess I hear what you're saying, that the AmpliTube and bias are a bit more about modeling classic guitar effects, and maybe the Native Instruments gets a little bit more out there with some of the weird pro audio stuff.
It's also got like some great like rock tones. I always use this preset called Black Malcolm Lead or something, or Rhythm. It's like one of the AC/DC ones. I always write with that because when I'm in the studio at home, I mean, I have my amp here, but if it's past a certain hour in this neighborhood, can't really crank it. So it's nice to have something to be able to blast it in your headphones and just write.
I noticed that when you loaded up each of these sounds, you started off with presets and then we're tweaking from there. Is that the common approach for you, to kind of start with a preset and then tweak?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe once you know the software a little more, you can kind of go to each specific amp and then like build from zero, but there's no point really to. I always like pulling up a preset. I love pulling up presets in that regard because it's so fast, and it's not always like, all right, this sounds great by itself, so then it'll sound great in the song. It needs to fit the sonic landscape. It needs to make sense with the whole track, and to be able to just go, you know, from one to the other, and it's just like that. It really helps just figure out what the guitar should be about.
I hear you. So when you're ultimately choosing your final tones, you're doing it in context with the rest of the band, and going through presets allows you to say, all right, are we in the ballpark for what works with this track?
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, Vlad, thanks for allowing us into your home studio. Thanks for playing some Born Cages tracks for us so we can hear how this stuff sounds on real music and real good music. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Justin of Sonic Scoop, coming at you courtesy of B&H. Thank you one more time to Vlad and Born Cages.
Thank you.